Hey everyone, it's Kenji. We're gonna make some crab cakes. So Maryland style crab cakes, I guess, except for using some West Coast Dungeness crab. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna be making this lemon aioli, lemon mayonnaise to serve them with. So I'm gonna start with that because I'm also gonna use the mayonnaise to bind the crab cakes. This is all real quick and easy. So garlic clove, a couple cloves of garlic. And if you've seen like some of my making mayo videos, you know that I like to do it with a hand blender like this. It's the fastest and easiest and best way to make mayo that I know of. All right, so there's that. So normally I would use my whole egg to make mayo, and I would also use a whole egg to make my crab cakes if I had a pound of crab meat, but today I only have half a pound of crab meat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the egg white in the crab cake and the yolk to make the mayo. This, by the way, is the easiest way that I know to separate egg whites and yolks. Just gets your hand a little dirty, but you know, that's that. If you have to separate a lot of eggs real fast, that's definitely the easiest way. Of course, if you don't want to get your hands messy, you don't have to. Lemon. Actually, I'm gonna put some lemon zest into this bowl for the crab cakes. Also, lemon zest is a good way to get sort of lemon flavor without adding a ton of acidity. And then the juice, I'll put half a lemon's worth of juice in there, and then we'll save the rest of this lemon to serve with the crab cakes. Some mustard, Dijon mustard. I like a good amount of it. That's probably like a little over a tablespoon or so. Pinch of salt. Some black pepper. Whoops. And some canola oil. I'm gonna do a mix of canola and olive. Actually, I think I'll probably just do canola oil here. You know, mayonnaise, you can make it with olive oil. You can make it with canola oil. I like making it with canola oil generally because it has a sort of more neutral flavor, so the lemon and the garlic come out more. Whereas if you were to make it with olive oil, it would taste like olive oil. And that's fine if olive oil is what you want. But I think I'm using this for crab, so I want that kind of neutral flavor. All right, so now all we have to do, we have all our ingredients in there. Put the blender all the way at the bottom of the cup, turn it on, and then slowly pull it up to form the emulsion. And there we have our mayonnaise. Now this is a pretty thick mayo because, so if you use the whole egg, the added water from the egg white will actually make the mayo quite a bit thinner. This is a real thick mayo right now, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a little mess on my cutting board, but I'm going to take some of this mayo and put it into my crab cake mixture while it's still real thick like that. Say a couple tablespoons. And then for the rest of this, to get it to a nicer consistency for serving, I'm going to blend in a teeny bit of water. All right, consistency looks good. Let's taste it for seasoning. It's pretty much spot on, right where I want it. All right. Do a quick cleanup here. So the goal with crab cakes is that you want to make them as crabby as possible. So as little filler as possible. You can use, you know, I actually normally use panko breadcrumbs, but I opened up my panko container yesterday and it was all kind of smelled a little rancid. So what I'm actually using is this leftover hot dog. I made some lobster rolls the other day and I had this hot dog bun, homemade hot dog bun left over that was kind of stale. So I just ground it up. So I'm putting about half a hot dog bun in here. So that would be about like half a slice of bread or so. If I was doing like a whole pound of crab, I would use a whole slice of bread. You don't have to use bread though. You could also use crackers. You could use panko. You could use matzo meal. There's many ways you can do this. But the goal is that you want to use just enough to hold the crab together. And even then, like, it should only be barely holding together. If it forms like a cohesive ball, you've probably added too much filler. For flavoring, I'm keeping it simple. You know, a lot of people like to add things like Old Bay, whatever. I like to sort of let the crab do most of the work flavor-wise. If I had some parsley or chives or tarragon, I might add a little bit of that chopped up, but I don't. All I have is this scallion, so I'm going with the scallion. All right, and I'm gonna cook one of these right now to sort of demonstrate for you, but I'm not gonna cook the other ones until a little later because these are for dinner. I'm gonna be cooking them in butter. So I've got this carbon steel pan going here. You could use non-stick, you could use cast iron, you could even use like stainless steel. Although stainless steel probably is more difficult because things are more likely to stick to it. But I've had this preheating over low heat, basically, I don't know, level 2. You can see the fire there, right? I've had it preheating while I was preparing the crab cakes, so it's nice and evenly heated. And look at that, it magically became a bigger pan when I switched cameras, because I actually made that crab cake earlier, ate it for lunch, and then decided it'd be better to show you how to cook 3 crab cakes instead of just 1. But past me would like you to know that the single crab cake I cooked earlier for this video was delicious. And now it's a few hours later, and so I'm making these for me and my wife and my daughter now. But here we go, same thing, same deal. I just used a slightly bigger pan, preheated over low heat, put the butter in, get it to melt, and then, you know, increase the heat a little bit. This is what we're looking at. So about, on my stove, that's about a level 4. Other stoves that may vary a bit, you know, stoves are not always the same. So I always find it a little troubling to say like medium high, medium low, whatever, because it really depends on what stove you're using, but you want it to be about medium. So I'm gonna really gently form these into cakes, like that, okay? You see they barely hold together, which is what you want. And we're gonna plop them into the butter. Now, some people like to broil their crab cakes. I like to do it all in one go in the pan, fry it on both sides. You just have to be gentle with it. 1. 2. That little one will be for my daughter. And 3. Now, the really important part is that, you know, when you're mixing that crab meat, you really don't want to break apart those chunks. I might have said that earlier, I can't remember. That was a few hours ago, although for you it might only seem like a minute or 2. All right, so into the butter they go. We're gonna let them cook real gently on that first side. While I wash my hands. And then I'm gonna start getting the rest of the meal ready. I got some broccoli actually roasting. During the video break, I started roasting some broccoli also. So that's what we're having on the side, some broccoli and a little arugula salad. Okay. So for this salad, all we want is a little bit of lemon, a little bit of good olive oil, a pinch of salt, black pepper, and that's it. Audrey, I'm shooting a video here, by the way. Okay. Don't want them walking in the middle of the video. Those are looking good. So the crab, by the way, when you buy crab like that, it's already been cooked. You know, it's been boiled once. When you're doing this, you really don't want to overcook it. The goal is really just to sort of brown the outside and then barely warm it through to the center. That's looking perfect. Nice and golden brown. And they might fall apart. That's totally fine. That's a sign that you didn't over bind it, which is good. You'd rather have crab cakes that fall apart than crab cakes that are too tough or too dense with, you know, breadcrumbs or crackers or whatever you use as your binding agent. If you really want to be careful, you could do this with a spatula like this. This is called a fish spatula. It's sort of flexible metal, really good. This is what you use in like restaurants, or what they used to use. Maybe now they use tweezers and stuff, but when I was cooking in restaurants, it was always fish spatulas. So if you want to be really gentle, you could use 2 spatulas, you know, carefully lift it up on one side, put it on, flip it onto the other spatula, then very gently lay it down, or you can just kind of flip it over like I did and risk breaking one here or there. All right, let me get my aioli on the side. All right, and our crab cakes are virtually done. We want them just warmed through in the center and nice and golden brown on the outside. I think they're there. That'll be the dog chunk. Guess I'm on this for you. And that's for Shabu. That is for me. All right. Don't those look lovely? I think they look lovely. All right, I'm not going to go into the other room and show you taking the picture this time, because I think my wife and daughter are in there right now. But I will take a little poke, a little gentle poke into this. That looks delicious. Nice and crabby, tender, not mushy. Not overbound. I think that's how crab cakes should be. All right, Hamon, Shabu, sit. Good girl. You good boy. All right, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, it's Kenji. There are 22 million kids in this country that rely on school lunches for nutritious meals. And with schools closed now more than ever, organizations like No Kid Hungry can use their support. So I'm asking you to join me. Click the link in the description below to donate some money. No amount is too small or too big. Thank you very much and stay safe. Bye-bye.